Have a howling Halloween with Digicel. On Monday, October 31st, enjoy a double and triple day. Get triple with $50 and more, or double with $10 to $49.99. It's all treats with Digicel. Digicel. Best coverage, best prices, best service.
Digicel. Make life easy.
Hi Belize, Bob Bonara here. You may already know me as the proud Belizean that made the final table in the World Series of Poker Main Event Championship 2011. It has been a great honor representing my country in this prestigious sport. This sport allows me to travel all over the world, and I still find our archaeological sites, lush rainforest, and our world-renowned barrier reef to be second to none. To discover all the beauty of our own backyard, log on to travelbelize.org and prepare to be one with Belize.
Coming soon with Digicel.
In an effort to better serve you, Central Cablevision introduces its new and improved website. Want more info on your favorite shows and upcoming programming? Just click on the channel's logo. Central Cablevision is also making it easy to pay your bill by offering the following payment options. Our website features easy online payment. Use your credit card or pay directly to the bank of your choice. Simply call or email our offices to get your customer number. You can also visit any of our offices in Belize City, Belmopan, or San Ignacio to make payments to your account. For your convenience, you can also pay over the counter at any of the banks or at any of the following agents: Southside Meats, Cetra Western Union, and Unit Trust Corporation. Get to know your #1 cable and internet provider. Keep updated with our weekly pay-per-view events. Visit our website and connect with us on Facebook and Twitter.
Tomorrow morning, Francis Fonseca will be sworn in as the 6th leader of the People's United Party. It will happen at what is being called a special convention at the Holy Redeemer Parish Hall set for 10 a.m. An advertisement bills the Freetown representative as a PUP servant of the people, but observers agree the real test for Fonseca's leadership will be whether he can unite and fund the party, which is somewhat splintered and in a dire financial position. We have confirmed that immediate past leader John Briceño has committed to support him and will be present. A neat reversal, because 42 months ago, in March of 2008, Briceño is the one who had bested Fonseca in a hard-fought leadership convention. And while Briceño will be there, we can't say the same for interim leader Mark Espat, who is out of the country. Espat, who recently declined the post of leader after gaining support from 30 of 31 constituencies, told us 1 week ago of Fonseca, quote, "I wish him well and look forward to hearing his plan to free the party from the grip and presence of those responsible for its electoral woes." That indicates there is a wide chasm separating those two. But with Briceño's support, there will at least be a leader of the opposition in the House of Representatives. A week ago, there was none, as senior parliamentarian Said Musa could not get a majority of support from the party's 6 elected representatives to be sworn in as leader. On Monday, we'll let you know how the special convention goes. He came to Belize as a carefree cruise tourist yesterday, but tonight, 27-year-old British national Paul Smith is in police custody and, to get out of it, has to find $10,000 and quick, or go to jail. That's after he pleaded guilty to trafficking for 2.3 grams of crack cocaine in the Belize City Magistrates Court today. That's not even an ounce. But because it's a hard drug, the charge has to be drug trafficking for any amount over 1 gram. Magistrate Albert Hoare fined him $10,000 to be paid forthwith or serve 3 months in prison. Smith did not have that kind of money on him and asked to make some calls to try and get it from his home country. He was unable to arrange it before the close of court, and so he remains in custody tonight. Smith was caught when a police special constable working at the tourism village reported that he saw Smith acting suspiciously and decided to search him. The constable found the drugs stuffed inside a pack of Colonial cigarettes in Smith's pocket. He was charged yesterday, but accused murderer Ernest Stain went to court today. Stain was arraigned in the No. 1 Magistrates Court for the murder of the owner of Eagle One Hardware, Wendelin Reimer. Apart from murder, he was also charged with the robbery of $300 from Carmelita Eck, an employee of Eagle One Hardware. Stain was remanded until November 11th and joins the other accused, Nicholas Suazo, on remand. A trio of men went into Eagle One 3 weeks ago, Friday, October 7th, bought something, and then pulled out a gun. Reimer dashed to get out of the store, but they shot him fatally in the head as he was fleeing. Last night we told you about a Jamaican man and 3 others, including a 68-year-old woman who were busted with commercial quantities of compressed marijuana, 13.2 pounds to be exact. Well, today they went to court, and all 4 were charged for drug trafficking. 45-year-old Dion Wright, a Jamaican woodcarver, 33-year-old Kissy Rondian Wright, a teacher, 20-year-old Rodlicia Colliard, a domestic, and 68-year-old Delis Mariano, all of No. 2 Nurse Wright Street. They pleaded not guilty in court before Chief Magistrate Anne Marie Smith. And then a most unusual thing happened. They were each offered bail of $300. Unusual because the street value of the drugs is about $12,000, and bail for such a quantity would usually be in the thousands of dollars. But it wasn't, which raised more than a few eyebrows in the courtroom. But it stood, and all four were able to meet bail. Police today confirmed that 16-year-old Roaring Creek resident Frank Usher was killed with a .38 caliber weapon. This raises the possibility that the weapon used was the one that was reported stolen by a police corporal. Police Press Officer Fitzroy Yearwood told us that the corporal will be brought up on disciplinary charges because he should not have had that weapon in his possession, as it was assigned to the head of the IT department where he works. Remarkably, 24 hours after we asked him about the owner of the gun, Yearwood told us he could not tell us whom the weapon was originally licensed to, while reports to us say it was assigned to a very senior police officer. But that is neither here nor there, because right now police don't have the murder weapon and can't make any match between the slugs found in Usher's body and the weapon until that is recovered. And there's still more news ahead, but here's the latest look at the rapidly disintegrating storm formerly known as Rena, which is now just a tropical depression. Does she have the power to reform in warmer waters? Here's now a look at that forecast.
This weather report is brought to you by RF&G Insurance. Weather any storm with the security of an RF&G coverage.
Watch 2011.
Alerta de huracán 2011.
A pleasant good evening, Belize. This evening's weekend weather report and forecast was prepared by Frank Tinge of the National Meteorological Service and produced by Bell Carver Communication Services. I am Nadia Vernon. The weather over Belize turned out quite pleasant today. Satellite imagery today showed Belize and coastal waters enjoying fairly good weather. The area of cloudiness and showers over the eastern Gulf of Mexico are all that remains of Tropical Depression Rena. Strong southwesterly winds at upper levels effectively weakened the storm. Another large mass of showers over the western Caribbean is linked to a broad area of low pressure. This system has a low chance for development. Tonight's surface map shows the position of Tropical Depression Rena. Model forecast suggests the depression will drift slowly south over the western Caribbean during this weekend. The surface low over the western Caribbean will remain stationary for another few days. A cold front over the northwest Gulf of Mexico will stall over the central Gulf. The high-pressure ridge, however, will maintain a cool northwesterly flow over Belize and coastal water this weekend. For tonight's regional forecast, San Salvador, El Salvador will enjoy much better weather than the rest of Central America. For the Caribbean, it will be Kingston, Jamaica's turn to enjoy the sunny weather. On the home front, we can look forward to partly cloudy skies tonight. Isolated showers will occur. The low temperatures will range from 73 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 70 degrees inland and 68 degrees in the hills. For tomorrow, weather conditions will be mostly sunny with isolated showers or thunderstorms. The high temperatures will range from 85 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 88 degrees inland and 75 degrees in the hills. Winds over the seas and coast will blow from the north to northwest at 5 to 15 knots. The sea state will be choppy. Now for an in-depth look at the marine and astronomical conditions. The weekend's travel outlook will favor generally good weather for most coastal destinations. Here's tonight's hurricane tip. If your home has had water damage, do not turn on any lights or appliances until an electrician has checked your electrical system. Have an enjoyable and safe weekend. We'll return on Monday with another version of the weather forecast.
This weather report is brought to you by RF&G Insurance. Weather any storm with the security of an RF&G coverage.
If you're like most homeowners, your home is probably the largest asset, and it just might be the most valuable thing you'll ever own. Every year, we experience bushfires in the dry season, and then floods and windstorms in the hurricane season. And the big question every year is, are you prepared? Do you have proper and adequate insurance coverage? One way to make sure is to protect yourself with homeowners insurance from RF&G Insurance. Enjoy the security of real catastrophe coverage that insures against fire. Some others don't cover bushfires. Lightning, floods, no additional cost at RF&G. Windstorm damage, earthquake, tsunami, and other standard perils. So, for insurance protection that really works, call or visit RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
And when we come back, is it a case of spirit possession in tea kettle? Monica Bowden speaks to Standard 6 students who experienced a mass fainting today. We'll have that for you and more coming up in just a moment.
Get ready as Smart once again brings you a triple up and double up day. Get 3 times more out of your dollar this Monday, October 31st. Recharge with prepaid cards, Give You Dollar agents, Go Mobile, the Smart Lounge at smart-bz.com, and EasyTop at easytop.com. So triple up and double up with Smart this Monday, October 31st.
Smart, bringing people together.
The Minister of Health, on the advice of the Director of Health Services, would like to take this opportunity to inform the general public that the month of October marks the beginning of the flu season. Persons showing signs of flu-like symptoms are reminded to seek medical attention early and adhere to basic public health measures. Cover your coughs, wash hands regularly with soap and water, or use alcohol hand gels, and maintain a minimum of 3 feet distance from persons showing signs of flu. Seasonal flu vaccine will be made available shortly for select at-risk groups at public health facilities in country. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
Coming soon with Digicel.
I've been looking all over town for the best cable company. With over 170 channels and the best service in HD. I've been looking around Belize, and now my eyes come to see. Oh, I've been looking all over town, and then I found CBC. Yeah, oh yeah, it's CBC. Yeah, oh yeah, it's CBC.
CBC has set the standard, and all the others simply have to follow.
Welcome back to 7 News. The mayor of San Pedro Town is feeling the heat tonight from public outcry directed at the construction of a 21-foot town clock to be erected smack in the middle of that municipality's downtown area. Mayor Elsa Paz says she got the idea whilst visiting the town's sister city in Wilmington, North Carolina. The initial construction, which got underway on Monday of this week, has sparked a fiery debate amongst islanders as to whether a project of the sort should be one of the council's priorities. But besides matters of taste, timing, and town planning, there's a much larger practical concern. Belize Water Services has gone on record that any such construction immediately above their water and sewer lines could pose great risk to the island's utility infrastructure.
The way it was explained to me on site last week Friday that there would be 4 precast concrete columns, and those will saddle our mains, both our sewer and water mains in that location. The structure is going to be 7 feet square, right over for our infrastructure. So access in the future will be a concern for us.
How did you go about determining the location for the clock?
Well, the location I passed it on a council meeting several times to decide where we should put this clock, no? And I was the one that said that it will look good on the center of the road because it will have a better view from all the different streets and even the view from the beach front, no?
When you're embarking on such projects, does the council have any technical advisor that would have some background in infrastructure and zone planning?
Yes, we sit down. We just had meetings with the Central Building Authority, which with the local building authorities under the umbrella of the Central Building Authority. We sit down with the person in charge, no, the representative of Central Building Authority, and with the utilities companies, which is Belize Water Service, because they did object the project at the beginning because of their pipes, but the last meeting we had with them is that we had to move it about 18 inches away from their pipe, and it will be okay like that, no?
Okay, because it's my understanding that they still feel that the project is flawed and it will affect their ability to access those underground lines.
Yeah, that was their biggest concern coming from Belize Water Service. But we just had a meeting this morning to finalize that discussion, no, that concern. And yes, they have said we don't have a problem of you building a clock, but you have to be about 18 inches away from the pipes, because where we were going to build it was going to be too close to their pipes.
And while that meeting this morning has given the council a green light, there's still some lingering doubt being harbored at the headquarters of BWSL.
We can't guarantee what will happen during construction because we don't have anybody out there full time looking and overseeing what is happening. It's not our project. So on Monday we wrote to Mayor Paz stating our objections, and I even informed her and her representative that for future our experience with breaks of that size pipe that is there, that there is a huge crater by the time we reach there, and that could in itself jeopardize the infrastructure, the integrity of their structure once it's built. So it's more like threefold: integrity to our infrastructure, damage to our infrastructure, access, and even to their structure.
That one hurdle behind them now, the mayor is looking at tackling the wider issue, which is to try and change public opinion by going on a massive media campaign come next Monday to try and convince San Pedranos that the towering clock will add value to the tourist destination rather than take away from it.
You know, some of your residents might say that why go on this educational campaign now after the fact? Because construction has already begun.
Mm-hmm. No, well, the construction, they're just doing the foundation part, which they had, I think, 2 days they were working there, and because of the same problem with the hurricane, they put it on hold. It's on hold right now. But that's why I'm saying Monday I'm going to go to the morning show and explain to people, and I'm going to listen, you know, if I always go with whatever majority says, but first of all, it's not the town's money that we are financing this project. It's a donation to the town. So
and you're saying as we speak today, Friday, that town clock is not set in stone yet.
No, it's just right now they're just framing like the foundation part that will be holding the clock, no?
And while Mayor Paz is going on the offensive, she'll be needing some defense too. There will be a protest against the clock at noon on Monday, led by no less than the staff at the San Pedro Sun newspaper. And while that proposed structure is attracting heat for Mayor Elsa Paz, the same goes for Belize City Mayor Zenaida Moya and the Triple X sculpture on the seawall near Sandlighters Promenade. We told you about it last week and asked you to vote in a poll. Well, the results are in. 402 persons voted. 316 respondents, or 79%, said they didn't like it at all, while 86, or 21% of respondents said they did. He was a dive instructor at Tobacco Key, and in 2002, Ian Alamia met and married an American woman who was vacationing in Belize. But now, after pleading guilty to murdering her in Chicago in 2010, the 35-year-old Alamia will spend a maximum of 50 years in prison. According to reports from Chicago, he pleaded guilty yesterday to murdering his estranged wife, Tara, after visiting her home for a family movie night with their children, one of whom was celebrating her 5th birthday. Prosecutors said after watching the movie, the children went to bed, and that's when Alamia got into a dispute with the victim and choked her to death. Prosecutors said Alamia also phoned Belize and admitted to his brother several times that he strangled his wife and wanted to kill himself. Last week we told you that in one of its last judgments on a Belize case, the Privy Council had dealt a blow to government when it found that the loan note guaranteeing the debt for universal health services was valid and enforceable. That seemed to have put government back on the hook for at least $20 million of the $33 million debt to the bank. Prime Minister Dean Barrow says there are still many legal battles ahead before they accept that. But his predecessor, Said Musa, seemed pleased with the judgment when he spoke at last Friday's House meeting. Never mind that taxpayers are back on the hook for those many millions, former PM Musa said he was vindicated. Which got us to thinking what a sad and sordid history this entire universal debacle has been since it emerged in 2006. It caused 4 ministers to leave cabinet and dealt a 5-finger death blow to the Musa administration. Yet Musa was unapologetic last Friday. We look at his remarks in the context of the broader history of Universal.
And as for that case decided in the Privy Council, what the case is doing is vindicating my position. That is what the case is doing. Because the court, the Privy Council has ruled that the loan note was valid, that there was no need, that there was no violation of the Finance and Audit Act. There was no need to bring it to the House of Representatives. And the loan stands, and this government, or a future government, unfortunately, will be responsible to pay that debt.
But that wasn't what Francis Fonseca told us in January of 2008, weeks before the general election.
The government has absolutely no exposure as it relates to that debt. We are free from all liability, and the Prime Minister has kept true to his word and his commitment that no taxpayers' dollars will be spent in resolving that matter and in paying off that debt. And the Belize Bank has been paid, satisfied, and that is the end, in our minds, of that matter.
And that is because by then, government had secretly squared away the debt.
The enormity of what Musa and Fonseca did, and Amalia Mai, although I suppose she may be able to have resort to the Nuremberg defense that she was just following orders.
Foreign Affairs CEO Amalia Mai, in this December 28th letter to the president of Bandes, acknowledged that the $19 million is for construction and repair of houses, and then asked that $10 million be sent to the Belize Bank's account at the Bank of America in London. It went into the all-swallowing hole of this hospital's debt. And the same goes for the Taiwanese funds. So in a week's time, the universal principal payment is due September 23rd. What will happen on that day?
We are convinced that the private sector will take up the matter.
Of course, that wasn't quite true. What he should have said was that just 5 days earlier, he had handed these checks, money gifted by the Taiwanese, were handed over to the Belize Bank. $10 million, 20 million Belize, partial payment for the UHS debt. And then on October the 10th, Musa again misspoke. The principal for Belize Bank was due September 24th. I know it was not paid. What is the arrangement?
We are nearing concluding the matter, but they have agreed to an extension. Well, we're looking now towards the end of October.
And it's this universal, or it's the Belize Health Partners that will take it up, and they will pay the full indebtedness?
Is that the group with Dr. Vinny? Yes, that is.
And they will pay the full indebtedness?
They are looking to secure the complete financing for the project, yes.
Of course, as we now know, that complete financing came actually from public funds secretly paid by the Belizean government.
Upshot is that the government and people of Belize end up having not even one single solitary share in the facility now owned by Belize Healthcare Partners Group.
And yet, after all that and so much more, 1 week ago in the House of Representatives, Said Musa was still insisting on personal vindication.
This man actually said to us that the Privy Council decision vindicates him. The Privy Council decision, Mr. Speaker, was over the illegal guarantee, the illegal transaction that he did with healthcare partners. You know, if the Privy Council even said that the loan is not invalid, how can you boast about that? The fact is that you hid that loan from the Belizean people. What you did produced a riot out here at the foot of the same National Assembly. You sign it in secret. The only one where we know where to do, that the one where they sit alongside it.
Mr. Speaker, on the point of
I
order,
never get up when you talk.
the Prime Minister is saying it's inaccurate. He knows that I brought that matter to the House of Representatives. He knows that for a resolution, and it's because the opposition and the ACB and were rioting outside and stopped the National Assembly from continuing its business. That is why the loan was not approved. But in any case, the Privy Council ruled that the loan note was valid and did not require the approval of the House. That is the decision.
Vindicated, but the bank's position is still in dispute. The Privy Council also said that if the consideration for the promissory note was invalid, then the promissory note will be unenforceable. This seems to be alluding to the guarantee, which is the transaction that underlies the promissory note. So, government argues it's not over until the guarantee is adjudicated by a court of law. And when we come back, we'll tell you all about that case of alleged spirit possession in Tea Kettle Village. Interesting story, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Have a howling Halloween with Digicel. On Monday, October 31st, enjoy a double and triple day. Get triple with $50 and more, or double with $10 to $49.99. It's all treats with Digicel. Digicel. Best coverage, best prices, best service.
Digicel. Make life easy.
An enchanting world awaits you, comprised of just you and the one you love.
Go to Belize in Love at travelbelize.org and plan an amorous getaway and reconnect with a special person in your life.
Get recommendations for romantic dining and accommodations.
Packages and promotions.
All right here in the world that is your own backyard.
Go to travelbelize.org and plan your perfect getaway.
Be one with one another.
Be one with Belize.
You don't forget something?
Tonight, an air of eerie apprehension continues to haunt Tea Kettle Village after 11 school children experienced a collective fainting spell this morning. It happened at St. Edmund's RC Primary School, where students say spirit possession is behind it all. Monica Bowden went west to try and find out what happened and why.
Around 9:30 this morning, 11 students of St. Edmund RC School in Tea Kettle Village had to be rushed to the Western Regional Hospital emergency ward. That is, after the 11 of them experienced a sudden dizziness and weakness that caused some to even faint. So far, what happened this morning cannot be explained by doctors who attended to the children, so the cause is still unknown. The students, all from the Standard 6 classroom, which is housed in the school's church, went to school as normal this morning. But they say when they entered their classroom, a feeling came over them. Most explained it as some sort of demonic sensation.
When I went in the class, I dropped my bag. I went outside with my friend, Daniel Trujillo. He said if I didn't feel any weird, I told him, yes, I felt something kind of weird. And he said, let's sit down in the class. And when we sat down, two of us sat down together, and I felt something suspiciously when I watched some other girls ahead of me were already in the class. And I sat down, and when I sat down, I start to saw doubles, my head starting hurting. And I started to see dizzy, my head was spinning. And my teacher said, let's go to the office, and I said okay, and she had to, I was so weak I couldn't walk, and she had to back me, carry me to the office. And when she said go home, I tell her that miss, I can't walk, and she said she will call some of my friends to help me come home walking, but I couldn't. I was the first one to pass out.
11-year-old Julian Reyes told us he couldn't move his entire body and had to be lifted and placed into a vehicle to be taken home. That was when his father rushed him to the hospital.
When Julian came home, one of our cousins bring him home in the pickup, no? And he told me that I was working on my house with some lawnmower, and she called me and told me Julian feeling bad. So quickly I respond to him and I take him out of the truck. Me and one of my cousins lead him to the chair inside, and I asked him what wrong. He said he just start feeling bad and thing. I asked him if he may have breakfast. He said yes, he have breakfast, and there just was headache as he gone into the class. So I tell him, well, son, you look weak and things, so better try to get you to the hospital. So when we reached the hospital, we had to back him out of the vehicle. That time the teacher passed with 3 other kids in the car under speed. So by the time I reached the 3 down the inn, then I took Julian in, then waiting outside, and I said, make a wait outside. The principal called and said that then they bring 4 more. So we were outside waiting. After that we start just discharging kids in the emergency ward. Then again after that they call and said they are bringing some more. So actually then that just run through my mind and say it couldn't be nothing normal. It got to be the evil spirit in there, you know. And the Halloween is wrong, and they claim that when Halloween time the evil they out. So it happened in Big Falls, so that's suspicious in Tea Kettle too. So it could be the same thing, you know.
Reyes is one of the many villagers who believe these children were possessed by evil spirits.
They don't come up with nothing, none at all. Nothing. They just say, they don't know what to say because that's just something, even shocked to the doctors. 12 of them, I mean, in a one room. Doctors, they just say they will give them an injection for the stomach and the headache that they were complaining of, you know. But the doctors didn't say nothing about. He says they just have to keep on observation because they give them the injection for probably only the stomach and the weakness. And actually they come through with the weakness and the stomach pain. But with evil spirit, if you never look after them quick enough, then he will come back again. And probably the teachers, they don't believe in it, so actually my belief is that come back again and show them who is the evil spirit.
Lil Julian was one of the 11 Standard 6 students who experienced the sudden bad feeling this morning. The other students had similar stories.
Although when I got in my class, all I feel like something just coming to me, was strong breeze. And when I gone in my class, entire building, my teacher come here if we can pick up garbage. After we gone outside, gonna pick up garbage. And after we walk under the mango tree, after my head just start spinning round and round. And after that, all I feel my foot get weak, and I just sit down till my teacher come.
Then you had to be rushed to the hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I know people are saying, Shannon, that they believe that it was, there were evil spirits in the classroom. Do you believe that?
Yes, ma'am.
You believe something was out of the ordinary this morning?
Yes.
You felt anything different in the classroom?
Well, until we walk in, I just feel a strong breeze just going to you. Well, that I feel after we just walk outside. After that, he gone first. After that, he gone office. And after that, we sit in the back home. And after that, my next friend Daniel. Then after that, he feel it too. Then after that, when I go in the class too, then when I walk out back, then I feel my head just start spin on my foot. So that get heavy for me, and I just feel weak, and I just sit down on the mango tree till my teacher come there.
When we went to school, and after the bell ring, we went into class, and after that, we just felt like dizzy and want to vomit. And after that, we gone out, and right there is when we just felt to like dropping down, and that's when when they carried me to the hospital.
Did you faint?
No, I didn't faint, but there was like 4 who faint and they couldn't walk.
When they put me for strong, for when I can't put me front of a fan, I just feel like somebody just come over me and start choke me, and then I can't catch my breath. Then I grab onto one of the teacher and I try to tell she I can't catch my breath and myself, and then call used to be a principal and tell her how that time for make I go to the hospital, and then they rush me.
So you think that this morning it was evil forces inside that classroom?
I believe it because I just feel something just came over me and started choking me. Like they never want to live. So I said, well, maybe that.
The children's Standard 6 teacher explained to us what happened this morning.
Well, the first incident happened about 9 minutes, about 8:45, when a child came. I saw a child complaining of headache, nausea, and just that headache and nausea and feeling dizzy. So I took him in the office, and my first reaction was that maybe the child didn't have breakfast. So I went to the vice principal, and the vice principal had said, well, let's send him home because something is wrong with him. So we did. Not 5 minutes after, another child came and said, Miss, there's someone else in there who has the same thing, dizziness, nausea, headache, striking headache. So I went in, I took the child out, took him to the office. I was attending to him, wetting his head, whatever, and then they came out to pick up garbage, because it's garbage day for Standard 6 today in the morning. So they were picking up garbage, and I came out to see what they were doing. And then when I went back inside, 3 other children were feeling the same. So it was now 5. So I told the vice principal, something is wrong. So we need to take them to the hospital. So she decided, well, let's take them to the hospital. So we did take 5 of them to the hospital. On arriving on the hospital, the doctors and nurses did what they had to do. And about 15-20 minutes after, I would say, 3 other persons came in. 3 children from the same class came in. And then that was already 8. And a little while after, 2 others came in. So it's the total of 11 students that were in the hospital. The doctors examined them, and he couldn't find anything with them. They just something that they are related. The pain, they had that weakness in their foot. They couldn't stand properly, and they gave them their dose of injection each, and they were put on observation. After observation, about 5-10 minutes after the injection, they were okay. They were just asking for water, asking for something to eat, and the parents were there, so they gave them whatever they needed, and then the doctors told them that they can leave.
So far, there is no real explanation as to what may have caused these 11 Standard 6 students of St. Edmund RC School to end up at the hospital.
No explanation, but it's nothing that I can explain. Nothing I haven't seen something like this before, but it doesn't frighten me then. That I just did what I had to do with my students, because I'm the teacher, and a lot of speculations, but no, it's ordinary.
So you don't think that it's any evil forces?
No, no evil forces. It's just something that maybe insecticide or something that they sprayed around the place and made them feel like that way.
But these villagers are not buying that idea of something in the air which caused this morning's episode. Their theory is simple. If an insecticide was sprayed, why didn't anyone know of it, and why did it affect only one classroom out of the entire school?
Well, when I get this call this morning, when the teacher called me, he told me to go see Jose because he need help for make a car, to see what happened to Jose. So she never tell me nothing more. So I rush to school. Whenever I get to school, I borrow a bike here, to the neighbor. And when I reach to school, I see a lot of people in school. So I say, what's happened? And I ask, where's Jose? So they tell me, they don't care Jose. I said, why don't care Jose? Teacher's family, I can't explain what this happened because all the children there is getting drunk and stiff, no?
You saw this?
Yes, I saw.
What you saw?
Whenever they were taking out a little boy, he was stiff, and the teacher was knocking from his feet for making take breeze, And the driver too said, let us carry on. So I jump inside the car when I reach to the hospital. So I see a lot of children there. all the children, they were crying. I say, Jose, what's happened? He don't want to answer me. I say, Jose, tell me. Keep it himself. No, what's happened, Jose? He tell me, Pa, I don't know. I have a headache and my stomach, and I was trying to vomit. But he said, Jose, what you eat? Nothing. What you are doing? You are smelling something. You are working like art and craft. He said, no, Pa, we are not doing nothing. We just come inside the school and we sit down. No, everybody sit down. And whenever they feel, and they say the other, everybody was crying and say, and they tell the teacher, they carry one to the office, not to the principal, and whenever see all the children, they were crying and they can't walk because they feel down, no? And they say, what has happened? And whenever the teacher who teach them, she entered the class, she said she feels too. The piano, and she said, come out, but the children can't come out.
So you think that it was an evil spirit in that classroom this morning?
Yes, I think it was an evil spirit. What can be? And they say, well, we need to pray for the children, no? To make this bad spirit leave the children, because all of them were crying. They said, children, stop. We are going to pray right now.
So you're a pastor, I understand.
Yes, I'm a pastor.
So you started praying?
I started praying to all the children. I started to pray to all the children. I hug Jose and I say, Jose, I'm trusting God that this is a bad spirit, and I know that God is going to give you liberty right now. And I start to rebuke the spirit, not that it was disturbing all the children's mind, because they're taken by their mind. Yes.
All 11 children were released from the hospital, and the parents want the village chairman to get a classroom for the students so that their class is no longer in the church. In the meantime, school is expected to resume as normal on Monday. Belize's aquaculture industry is in peril because in 3 weeks' time, the European Union may choose to identify Belize as what they call a non-cooperating third country and refuse to accept fish and shrimp imports from Belize. That's because the Europeans say Belize's offshore industry is not properly overseen by the Fisheries Department. And when we say offshore, we don't mean like in the blue. We're referring to IMARBI, which is the ship's register, and the IBC register. The Europeans argue that the beneficial ownership of many of the 120 Belize-registered vessels on the high seas fishing fleet is obscured in the Register of International Business Companies, commonly known as IBCs. Both IMARBI and the IBC registry are privately owned and operated by large moneyed interests, and for the Fisheries Department to have any kind of oversight is a joke to anyone who knows the ins and outs of how such things work. But it's not a joke to the Europeans, and unless Belize's government comes up with an answer soon, principally Belize's aquaculture shrimp industry could face international trade sanctions. And that'll do it for us this Friday evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim McFadden. You can join Indira Craig back here on Monday. But until then, from all of us here at 7 News, have a good evening and a great Halloween weekend.